Hello everyone, welcome to i-TUTOR NCERT series. In today's class, we will be discussing Class 11 Geography NCERT, India Physical Environment, Chapter 5 Natural Vegetation. Let's start. What is natural vegetation? The natural vegetation refers to a plant community that has been left undisturbed over a long time, so as to allow its individual species to adjust themselves to climate and soil conditions as fully as possible. Okay, so what is natural vegetation? Natural means it has been left undisturbed. Okay, it's a plant community that has been left undisturbed over a long time, so as to allow its individual species to adjust themselves to the climate and soil conditions as fully as possible. Okay, so they need to adjust themselves to the climate and the soil conditions. India is a land of great variety of natural vegetation. Himalayan heights are marked with temperate vegetation. The Western Ghats and the Andaman Nicobar Islands have a tropical rainforest. Okay, so the Himalayas have temperate vegetation. Western Ghats and Andaman have tropical rainforest, and the deltaic regions have tropical forest and mangroves. The desert and semi-desert areas of Rajasthan is known for the cacti, that is a wide variety of bushes and thorny vegetation. Depending upon the variations in the climate and the soil, the vegetation of India changes from one region to another. On the basis of certain common features such as predominant vegetation types and climatic regions, Indian forest can be divided in the following groups. So types of forest. First one is tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Next, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest, mountain forest, and littoral and swamp forest. Okay, so these are the 5 types of forests which can be seen in India. First one, tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. These forests are found in the western slopes of the Western Ghats, hills of the northeastern region, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so the tropical evergreen forest or the semi-evergreen forest can be seen in the western slopes of Western Ghats, hills of the northeastern region, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are found in warm and humid areas with an annual precipitation over 200 cm and a mean annual temperature about 22 degrees Celsius. Okay, so they need 200 cm, about 200 cm rainfall and also 22 degrees Celsius over the annual temperature. And they also need warm and humid condition. Tropical evergreen forests are well stratified with the layers closer to the ground and are covered with shrubs and creepers, with short structured trees followed by tall variety of trees. In these forests, trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or above. There is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves. Okay, so there is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves. So all the year they can be seen as green forest. Flowering and fruition. Okay, so there is no definite time to trees to shed their leaves, flowering and fruition. As such, these forests appear green all the year. Okay, so that's why these forests appear green all the year. Species found in these forests include the rosewood, mahogany, aini, ebony, etc. So these are some of the species found in some of the plants or trees found in this forest. That is rosewood, mahogany, aini, ebony, etc. The semi-evergreen forests are found in the less rainy parts of this region. Such forests have a mixture of evergreen and moist deciduous trees. Okay, so the semi-evergreen have a mixture of evergreen plus the moist deciduous trees. The undergrowing climber provides an evergreen character of these forests. Main species are the white cedar, hollock, and kale. So these are the main species. The British were aware of the economic value of the forest in India. Hence, large-scale exploitation of these forests was started. The structure of forest was also changed. The oak forest in Garhwal and Kumaon were replaced by pine, that is chirs, which was needed to lay railway lines. Forests were also cleared for introducing plantation of tree, rubber, and coffee. The British also used timber for construction activities as it acted as an insulator of heat. The protectional use of forest was thus replaced by commercial use. Okay, so that is the tropical rainforest, okay, or the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Now, moving forward, next one is tropical deciduous forest. These are the most widespread forests in India. Okay, so tropical deciduous forests are the most widespread forests in India. They are also called the monsoon forest. So, tropical deciduous forest is also known as monsoon forest. They spread over regions which receive rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. Okay, so the rainfall between, so they need rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. On the basis of the availability of water, these forests are further divided into moist and dry deciduous forest. Okay, so on the basis of availability of water, these forests are further divided into moist deciduous forest and dry deciduous forest. Okay, so what is tropical deciduous forest? They are the most widespread forest in India, and they are also known as monsoon forest. They are also known as monsoon forest. Then they need a rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. Okay, so the rainfall is 70 to 200 centimeter. Now, dry deciduous forest covers vast areas of the country where rainfall ranges between 70 to 100 centimeter. Okay, so what is dry deciduous forest? They covers vast areas of the country and the rainfall ranges between 70 to 100 centimeter. On the wetter margins, it has a transition to the moist deciduous, while on the drier margin to thorn forest. Okay, so on the wetter margin, they have a transition to the moist deciduous forest, but at the same time, on a drier margin, it changes into thorn forest. These forests are found in the rainier areas of the peninsula and the plains of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. In the higher rainfall regions of the peninsular plateau and the northern Indian plains, these forests have a parkland landscape with open stretches in which teak and other trees interspread with patches of grass are common. As the dry season begins, the trees shed their leaves completely. Okay, so the trees shed their leaves completely as the dry season begins, and the forest appears like a vast grassland with naked trees all around. Okay, so at the dry season or the dry season period, the trees shed their leaves. Okay, and the forest appears like a vast grassland with naked trees. Tendu, Palas, Amalthas, Bell, Khair, Excelwood, etc. are the common trees of the forest. In the western and the southern part of Rajasthan, vegetation cover is very scanty due to low rainfall and overgrazing. Okay, so in the western and the southern part of Rajasthan, the vegetation cover is very scanty, very low because of the low rainfall and the overgrazing. Now, next one is tropical thorn forest. Tropical thorn forest occurs in the areas which receive a rainfall less than 50 centimeter. Okay, so they have a rainfall less than 50 centimeter. Okay, 50 centimeter. These consist of a variety of grasses and shrubs. Okay, so they have a variety of grasses and shrubs. It includes semi-arid areas of the southwest Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so they include the semi-arid areas of southwest Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. In these forests, plants remain leafless for most part of the year and given an expression of scrub vegetation. Important species found in are babul, ber and wild date palm, khair, neem, khejri, palas, etc. Tusoki grass grown up to a height of 2 meter as the undergrowth. Okay, so the Tusoki grass, they grow up to a height of 2 meters as the undergrowth. Now, next one is mountain forest. In mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to a corresponding change in natural vegetation. Okay, so what happened in mountainous area? the decreasing temperature with increasing altitude, and which leads to a corresponding change in natural vegetation. Mountain forest can be classified into two types, the northern mountain forest and the southern mountain forest. The Himalayan ranges show a succession of vegetation from the tropical to tundra. Okay, so the Himalaya shows a succession of vegetation from the tropical to the tundra, which change in with the altitude. Deciduous forests are found in the foothills of Himalaya. It is succeeded by the wet temperate types of forest between an altitude of 1000 and 2000 meter. In the higher hill ranges of the northeastern India, hilly areas of West Bengal and Uttarakhand, evergreen broadleaf trees such as oak and chestnut are predominant. Okay, so in the hilly areas of West Bengal and Uttarakhand and the hill ranges of northeastern India, mainly there are oak and chestnuts are prominent. Between 1500 and 1750 meter, pine forests are also well developed in this zone, with chir pine as a very useful commercial tree. Okay, so chir pine is a very useful commercial tree. Deodar, a highly valued endemic species grown mainly in the western part of the Himalayan range. Deodar is a durable wood mainly used in the construction activity. Similarly, the chinar and the walnut, which sustain the famous Kashmir handicraft, belong to this zone. Blue pine and spruce appear at altitudes of 2225 to 3048 meter. At many places in this zone, temperate grasslands are also found. But in the higher reaches, there is a transition to alpine forest and pastures. Silver firs, junipers, pines, birch, and rhododendron, etc. occur between the 3000 and 4000 meter. However, these pastures are used extensively for transhumance by tribes like the Gurjars, the Bakrawals, Bhotias, and the Gaddis. The southern slopes of the Himalayas carry a thicker vegetation cover because of relatively higher precipitation than the drier north-facing slopes. At a higher altitude, mosses and lichens form part of tundra vegetation. Now, the southern mountain forests include the forests found in three distinct areas of Peninsular India, that is the Western Ghats, the Vindhyas, and the Nilgiris. Okay, so we already discussed about the northern mountain forest. Okay, that is the Himalayan region, and now is the southern mountain forest that include the forests found in three distinct areas, that is Western Ghats, the Vindhyas, and the Nilgiris. As they are closer to the tropics and only 1500 meters above the sea level, vegetation is temperate in the higher regions and subtropical on the lower regions of the Western Ghats, especially in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. The temperate forests are called sholas in the Nilgiris, Annamalai, and Palani hills. Okay, so the temperate forests are called as sholas in Nilgiris, Annamalai, and Palani hills. Some of the other trees of this forest of economic significance include magnolia, laurel, cinchona, and wattle. Such forests are also found in the Satpura and the Maikal ranges. Now, littoral and swamp forest. India has a rich variety of wetlands habitat. About 70% of this comprises areas under paddy cultivation. The total area of wetland is 3.9 million hectares. Two sites, that is Chilika Lake in Orissa and Kilado National Park in Bharatpur. Okay, so the Chilika Lake that's in Orissa and the Kilado National Park that's in Bharatpur are protected as waterfowl habitats under the conservation of wetlands of international importance, that is called Ramsar conservation. The country's wetlands have been grouped into 8 categories, that is the reservoirs of the Deccan Plateau in the south together with the lagoons and other wetlands of the southern west coast. Second one, the vast saline expanses of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and the Gulf of Kutch region. Third one, freshwater lakes and reservoirs from Gujarat eastward through Rajasthan. Then, that is the Keeladon National Park and the Madhya Pradesh. Okay, sorry, the freshwater lakes and the reservoirs from Gujarat spreads through Rajasthan in Keeladon National Park and the Madhya Pradesh. Next one is the delta wetlands and lagoons of India's east coast, that is in the Chilika Lake. Next, the freshwater marshes of Gangetic Plain, the floodplains of the Brahmaputra, the marshes and swamps in the hills of northeast India and the Himalayan foothills. Then, the lakes and rivers of mountain region of Kashmir and Ladakh. Next one, the mangrove forest and other wetlands of the island arcs of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now, mangrove grows along the coast in the salt marshes, tidal creeks, mudflat and estuaries. They consist of a number of salt-tolerant species of plants. Crisscrossed by creeks of stagnant water and tidal flows, these forests give shelter to a wide variety of birds. In India, the mangrove forest spread over 6,740 square kilometers, which is 7% of the world's mangrove forest. They are highly developed in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Sundarbans of West Bengal. Other areas of significance are the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna deltas. These forests too are being encroached upon and hence need conservation. Okay, so these forests are also being encroached and these need conservation. Now, forest cover in India. Okay. According to state records, the forest area covers 23.28% of the total land area of the country. It is important to note that the forest area and the actual forest cover are not same. Okay, so the forest area and the actual forest cover are not the same. The forest area is the area notified and recorded as the forest land irrespective of the existence of trees, while the actual forest cover is the area occupied by forest with canopy. The former is based on the records of the State Revenue Department, while the latter is based on aerial photographs and satellite images. In 2001, the actual forest cover was only 20.55%. Of the forest cover, the share of dense and open forest was 12.60% and 7.87% respectively. Both forest area and forest cover vary from state to state. Lakshadweep has 0% of forest area. Andaman and Nicobar Islands have 86.93%. Most of these states with less than 10% of the forest area lies in north and northwest part of the country. These are Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana and Delhi. Most of the forests in Punjab and Haryana have been cleared for cultivation. States with 10 to 20% of forest area are Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. In Peninsular India, excluding Tamil Nadu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Goa, the area under forest cover is 20-30%. The northeastern states have more than 30% of the land under forest. Hilly topography and heavy rainfall are good for forest cover. There is a lot of variation in actual forest cover, which ranges from 9.56% in Jammu and Kashmir to 84.01% in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. From the table showing the distribution of forest in India, okay, it is clear that there are 15 states where the forest cover is more than 1/3 of the total area, which is the basic requirement for maintaining the ecological balance. Now, look at this table. The region of high concentration, percent of forest cover is more than 40. Then the region of medium concentration, it's 20 to 40. The region of low concentration, 10 to 20. And the region of very low concentration is greater than 10. This less than 10, sorry. Now forest conservation. Forests have an intricate interrelationship with life and the environment. These provide numerous direct and indirect advantages to our economy and society. Hence, conservation of forests is of vital importance to the survival and prosperity of humankind. Accordingly, the Government of India proposed to have a nationwide forest conservation policy and adopted a forest policy in 1952, which was further modified in 1998. According to new forest policy, the government will emphasize sustainable forest management in order to conserve the expand in order to conserve and expand forest reserve on the one hand and to meet the needs of local people on the other. Now, the forest policy aimed at bringing 33% of the geographic areas under forest cover, maintaining environmental stability and to restore forests where the ecological balance was disturbed, then conserving the natural heritage of the country, its biological diversity and the genetic pool, then fourth one, checks soil erosion, extension of the desert lands and reduction of floods and droughts, then increasing the forest cover through social forestry and afforestation on degraded land, then increasing the productivity of forests to make timber, fuel, fodder and food available to rural population depends on the forest, and encourage the substitution of wood. Now, creating of the massive people movements involving women to encourage planting of trees, stop felling of trees and thus reduce pressure on the existing forest. Okay, so these are some of the forest policies. Now, based on the forest conservation policy, the following steps were initiated. First one is social forestry. Social forestry means the management and protection of forest and afforestation on barren lands with the purpose of helping in the environmental, social and rural development. The National Commission on Agriculture 1976 has classified social forestry into three groups. These are urban forestry, rural forestry and farm forestry. Urban forestry pertains to the raising and management of trees on public and privately owned lands in and around urban centers such as green belts, parks, roadside avenues, industrials and commercial green belts, etc. Rural forestry lays emphasis on promotion of agroforestry and community forestry. Agroforestry is the raising of trees and agriculture crops on the same land inclusive of the waste patches. It combines forestry with agriculture. Okay, so that is called agroforestry, forestry with agriculture, thus altering the simultaneous production of food, fodder, fuel, timber and fruit. Community forestry involves the raising of trees on public or community land such as the village pasture and temple land, roadsides, canal bank, strips along railway lines and schools, etc. Community forestry program aims at providing benefits to the community as a whole. Community forestry provides a mean under which the people of landless classes can associate themselves in tree raising and thus get those benefits which otherwise are restricted for landowners. Now, farm forestry. What is meant by farm forestry? The farm forestry is a term applied to the process under which farms grow trees for commercial and non-commercial purposes on the farmlands. Forest departments of various states distribute seedlings of trees free of cost to small and medium farmers. So several lands such as the margins of agriculture fields, grasslands and pastures, land around homes and cowsheds may be used for raising trees under non-commercial farm forestry. Now, what is wildlife? Wildlife of India is a great natural heritage. It is estimated that about 4 to 5% of all non-plant and animal species on the earth are found in India. The main reason for this remarkable diversity of life forms is the great diversity of the ecosystem which this country has preserved and supported through the ages. Over the years, their habitat has been disturbed by human activities, and as a result, their numbers have dwindled significantly. There are certain species that are at the brink of extinction. Some of the important reasons for the declining of wildlife are follows. First one, industrial and technological advancement brought about a rapid increase in the exploitation of forest resources. More and more lands were cleared for agriculture, human settlements, roads, mining, reservoirs. Pressure on forests mounted due to lopping for fodder and fuel wood and the removal of small timber by the local people. Grazing by domestic cattle caused an adverse effect on the wildlife and its habitat. Hunting was taken up as a sport by the elite and hundreds of wild animals were killed in a single hunt. Now, commercial poaching is rampant. Incidents of forest fire. It is being felt that conservation of wildlife is great significance to the national as well as the world heritage along with the promotion of ecotourism. Now, wildlife conservation in India. The protection of wildlife has a long tradition in India. Many stories of Panchatantra and the Jungle Books, etc., have stood the test of time relating to the love of wildlife. These have a profound impact on young minds. In 1972, a comprehensive Wildlife Act was enacted which provided the main legal framework for conservation and protection of wildlife in India. The two main objectives of the Act are to provide protection to the endangered species listed in the schedule of the Act and to provide legal support to the conservation areas of the country classified as national parks, sanctuaries, and closed areas. This Act has been comprehensively amended in 1991, making punishment more stringent and has also made provisions for the protection of specified plant species and conservation of endangered species of wild animals. There are 106 national parks and 573 wildlife sanctuaries in India. Wildlife conservation has a very large ambit with unbounded potential for the well-being of humankind. However, this can be achieved only when every individual understands its significance and contributes his bit. For the purpose of effective conservation of flora and fauna, special steps have been initiated by the Government of India in collaboration with the UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program. Special schemes like Project Tiger, that is in 1973, Project Elephant in 1992, have been launched to conserve these species and their habitat in a sustainable manner. Project Tiger has been implemented since 1973. The main objective of the scheme is to ensure maintenance of viable population of tigers in India for scientific, aesthetic, cultural and ecological values and to preserve areas of biological importance as natural heritage for the benefit, education and enjoyment of the people. Okay, so some of the special schemes are Project Tiger in 1973 and Project Elephant 1992. Initially, the Project Tiger was launched in 9 tiger reserves, covering an area of 16,339 square kilometer, which has now increased into 58 tiger reserves. Okay, so initially it was only in 9 tiger reserve, but now it is in 58 tiger reserve. The tiger population in the country has registered an increase from 1,827 in 1972 to 3,642 in 2001-2002 period. Now Project Elephant. It was launched in 1992 to assist states having free-ranging population of wild elephants. It was aimed at ensuring long-term survival of identified viable population of elephants in their natural habitat. The project is being implemented in 13 states. Apart from this, some other projects such as Crocodile Breeding Project, Project Hangul and the conservation of Himalayan musk deer have also been launched by the Government of India. Now, moving forward, Biosphere Reserves. A biosphere reserve is a unique and representative ecosystem of terrestrial and coastal areas which are internationally recognized within the framework of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program. So what is a biosphere reserve? Biosphere reserve is a unique and representative ecosystem of terrestrial and coastal areas which are internationally recognized within the framework of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program. The biosphere reserves aim at achieving the 3 objectives. First one, conservation, development and logistics. Okay, so these are the 3 aims. Okay, 3 aims or 3 objects of biosphere reserves. Conservation means conservation of biodiversity and the ecosystem. Development means its association with the environment with the development. Okay, so association of environment with the development. Then logistics, international network for research and monitoring. Okay, so these are the 3 objectives of biosphere reserve. There are 18 biosphere reserves in India. Reserves, namely Nilgiri, Nanda Devi, Sundarbans, and Gulf of Mannar, have been recognized by the UNESCO's World Network of Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so these are some of the biosphere reserves from India which are recognized by the UNESCO. Now let's discuss about the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, the first of the 14 biosphere reserves in India. Okay, it's not now it's 18. Okay, first it was 14, but it's now 18 biosphere reserves. Okay, so the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is the first of the not 14, 18. 18 biosphere reserves of India was established in September 1986. It embraces the sanctuary complex of Wayanad, Nagarhole, Bandipur, and Mudumalai, the entire forested hill slopes of Nilambur, the upper Nilgiri Plateau, Silent Valley, and the Siruvani Hills. Okay, so this is the region which is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve found. So that is Wayanad, Nagarhole, Bandipur, and Mudumalai, the entire forest hill slopes of Nilambur, the upper Nilgiri Plateau, Silent Valley, and the Siruvani Hills. The total area of the Biosphere Reserve is around 5,520 square kilometers. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve possesses different habitat types, unspoiled areas of natural vegetation types with several dry scrubs, dry and moist deciduous, semi-evergreen and wet evergreen forest, evergreen sholas, grasslands, and swamps. It includes the largest known population of two endangered animal species, namely the Nilgiri thar and the lion-tailed macaque. The largest South Indian population of elephant, tiger, gaur, samba, and cheetah, as well as a good number of endemic and endangered plants are also found in this reserve. The habitat of a number of tribal groups remarkable for their traditional modes of harmonious use of the environment are also found here. The topography of the NBR is extremely varied. Okay, that is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. That is extremely varied, ranging from an altitude of 250 meter to 2650 meter. Okay, so that is the topography. About 80% of the flowering plants are reported from the Western Ghats occur in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so that's about the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Next one is Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Okay, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. The Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, situated in Uttarakhand, including part of Chamboli, Almora, Pithoragarh, and Bageshwar district. Okay, so the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve situated in the Uttarakhand, that including parts of Chamboli, Almora, Pithoragarh, and Bageshwar. The major forest types of these reserves are temperate. A few important species are silverweed and the orchids like latifolia and rhododendron. Okay, so these are some of the orchids. Okay, that is latifolia and rhododendron. The biosphere reserves are a rich fauna. For example, the snow leopard, black bear, brown bear, musk deer, snowcock, golden eagle, and black eagle. Major threats to the ecosystem are the collection of endangered plants for medicinal use, forest fires, and poaching. Okay, so these are some of the issues faced by the reserve, that is collection of endangered plants for medicinal use, forest fires, and poaching. Next one is Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve. It is located in the swampy delta of the river Ganga in West Bengal, extends over a vast area of 9,630 square kilometers and consists of mangrove forest, swamps, and forested island. Sundarbans is home to nearly 200 Royal Bengal tigers. Okay, so this is the home to Bengal tigers, Royal Bengal tigers. The tangled mass of root of mangrove trees provides safe homes for a large number of species, from fish to shrimp. More than 170 bird species are known to inhabit this mangrove forest. Adapting itself to the saline and freshwater environment, the tigers at the park are good swimmers and they hunt scarce prey such as cheetah deer, barking deer, wild pig, and even macaques. In the Sundarbans, the mangrove forests are characterized by Heritiera forms, a species valued for its timber. Okay, so In the Sundarbans, the mangrove forests are characterized by the heritaria forms, that is, a species valued for the timber. Now, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. The Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve covers an area of 1,05,000 hectares on the southeast coast of India. Okay, where is it can found in the southeast coast of India. It is one of the world's richest region from marine biodiversity perspective. The biosphere reserves comprise 21 islands with estuaries, beaches, forests of the nearshore environment, seagrasses, coral reef, salt marshes, and mangroves. Among the Gulf's 3,600 plants and animal species are globally endangered. Okay, species are the globally endangered sea cow, that is dugong dugon, and 6 mangrove species endemic to Peninsula India. Okay, so among the Gulf's 3,600 plants and animal species are the globally endangered sea cow and 6 mangrove species that is endemic to Peninsula India. Okay, so that's about the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. So that is all about this chapter. If you have any doubts, you can comment below. For more videos, like, share, subscribe.